There we go. You guys should be able to hear me now. What's going on, everyone? It's Andres, and this is an impromptu live stream. I just got done with the recording session with a small business and an affiliate, one of my most recent affiliates, actually, and I was very happy to have him on. That's DMO Knives. So stay tuned for that because we had a great conversation about just the craftsmanship that goes into these beautiful knives, and that's why the box is up here. DMO Knives. You use Segovia at checkout and save 10% on your order over there. Well, stay tuned for that. Anyway, I got a couple of things I wanted to talk to you guys about. This intended to be a short enough stream, and I don't I don't like the washed out colors. It does not look like this when I use StreamYard. So it's the same setup. I don't know why it looks like I have like an aura around me. I hope that's not what you guys are seeing. Let me check. Um, let me check how it looks for you guys. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. All right, it shows that I'm live. That's good. All right. Well, we're gonna roll with it. It sounds like it's all good. Alrighty. So I have a couple of topics that I want to touch on, and I'll try to be as brief on them as possible. And that's what with respects to the Brax3 device, which was expected to be shipping this week, and we're anticipating a survey also about said uh, like shipping, like what do we want in our final order. We haven't seen the survey. I haven't seen it. I even checked my spam, so I haven't heard about that. And secondly, is with respects to this whole, I got to react to this whole S25 Edge from Samsung that they just released. I'm sorry, Galaxy S25 Edge. Dude, if everything's Galaxy, nothing is Samsung. Freaking A. And also reading some of your comments that some of you have left me. But I wanted to give two announcements real quick. One of them is I am officially in touch with the CEO of Above Phone, and we're in discussions about arranging a type of interview. So stay tuned for that. Some of you have asked for it, uh, and someone brought it to my attention last year, and it was just like a one-off. But recently more of you have been asking, so they reached out to me, which is pretty cool because I reached out via X. I didn't hear back. Then I get an email from the CEO, so like they must have noticed. So right now we're in that moment to see if we can make something happen. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Now the other update, oh my goodness, what was the other update I wanted to give you guys? Oh yes. So I cut it out from a video I'm going to publish. It's going to go up later today. It's probably going to be about 10 minutes long now, which is fine. But I was trying to do this stream back on Monday, but the interview I recorded today, we're supposed to do it on Monday. We're in technical difficulties, which is why we're rescheduled for today. But I was going to do a live, but instead I ended up doing nearly a 2 hour recording session, more of a vent session, honestly, with respects to Cash Patel's FBI. And to some extension, the rift between Make America Great Again crowd and the Make America Healthy Again crowd, because they're really going at it with respects to this Casey Means nomination. Now, um, I did weigh in on that. I decided to walk that back, and not saying that I'm taking anything back. I just like, what's the point? Let people argue it out. I could easily get clicks out of that, so forget it. I scrapped it. But in that was me addressing Cash Patel's FBI. So I re-recorded something that I have almost done, and it should be posted later today. And I'll be putting it across the socials, not just the video platforms, because it's something you have to be aware of. So long story short, I do not like that Flowers by Irene, as I call him, Cash Patel's FBI. It just feels like it's more of the same as the old, because of what's happening with my friends. So what that is, you'll find out in that. So those are the two updates or announcements. Stay tuned for that video, and also see what materializes with Above Phone. I know those of you on YouTube on the community, I made the announcement already. Stay tuned. So once we get something in the books, should that happen, um, I'll ask you to send in your questions if you have any questions about Above Phone. But now, let's talk about the first thing on the docket. Where is the Brax3 device? And I'm using Rumble Studio this time. So let me make sure I have this right. Okay, cool. So this is the latest update. I got the email first before I saw it on Indiegogo. Some of you are not going to like this update, but it's an update nonetheless. So this one came through today, and because I don't have that much time today, I want to breeze right through this and then respond to some of your questions or read out your comments. So, right here, this is from Clement. Posted this morning on Indiegogo. I got the email first though. Brax3 May project update. Hi everyone, we're back with an important update on shipping. There has been an unexpected delay. That's what none of us wanted to hear. But Clement also adds, we also have a few positive things we want to share with you as well. Now, I'm bringing this up here for all of you because for those of you that are on Rumble and you follow Rob on Rumble, he's going to address this himself, I'm sure, on his Thursday stream. But there are many of you, primarily on YouTube, even X, that are don't catch Rob's lives that because I believe he's exclusively doing it on Rumble. He stopped streaming to Odyssey and he stopped streaming to YouTube. So he's primarily doing it on Rumble. So if you don't get the updates from there, then you're probably going to miss out some of these. And because those of you have been asking, I've been trying to keep you up to date because I'm invested in this too. I'm waiting for my phone. Okay, so where is this phone? Let's see what's happening here. Shipping delays, what's causing it, and where we stand. We were just about to begin final assembly and shipping when we ran into a technical issue that needs to be fixed before we can move forward. The problem has to do with recording IMEI and serial numbers onto the Brax3 devices during production. These identifiers are necessary for your phone to connect properly to mobile networks. Without them, your phone may have trouble getting a signal or registering a carrier. Now, I know some of you have asked me about this very thing because of how the Brax2 device worked. And I think this is answering your question, but I'll get to that in a moment. Let me read this next paragraph. The issue was initially considered a trivial one to resolve, but it's something that turned out to be more complex to resolve, as the IOTA OS team hasn't encountered it before. It's specific to the MediaTek platform we're using, which works a bit differently than Qualcomm chipsets they've detailed within past projects. Okay, so I never had a Brax device before, so this is my first one. And some people have asked me on YouTube, and I think over on X too, when I first covered what is the Brax3 device, and eventually getting Rob and Plement to respond to me. Thank you very much, by the way. You guys have an open invitation once this is all wrapped to discuss. Okay, so some of you have told me that the Brax2 device, um, it was one IMEI that was shared across all devices. I never heard of that, but that's what some users were telling me. So I could be wrong, but I'm just repeating what I saw in the comments on YouTube. So I never heard of that, and I did cover that on the my Brax3 Q question and answer sessions, which I might relabel this stream to be that. Um, so it looks like right here, for those that were asking, was it going to be the same as the Brax2 when it comes to the Brax3? Uh, According to this, no. And that's what's causing the problem because it's not recording the IMEI numbers being assigned to those production devices. So we'll be able to, either it's an embedded SIM or when you put in the SIM card, that would present issues when connected to a carrier. So that's what's causing the holdup, and it looks like it's something that IOTA's team is having difficulty with MediaTek versus, say, how it was with Qualcomm. Okay, so these chipsets matter, folks. If you're going to go one way or another, and if there's something that's going to be run into, you hope that there's going to be support from the chip maker. So I hope that the MediaTek engineers. Oh yeah, look, it even says it right here. To help address this faster, we brought in support from several partners in the supply chain, including MediaTek engineers, to work with the IoT team and find the best solution. So that's where we are right now, a holding pattern. The beta devices we shipped use a workaround for this issue. Even though beta feedback has been positive, the workaround may introduce issues in the short or long term, which may compromise the quality and user experience. This is the risk we are not willing to take. We're committed to doing this the right way, even if it takes a little longer. So I'm assuming this is referring to what was previously on the Brax2 device, where everybody shared an IMEI, which I believe was blacklisted. I could probably be wrong about that. I'm just trying to go off memory here. Okay, I literally just got off a recording session, and I had these pulled up. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just stream while I'm still in the studio. Okay, so let's wrap this section up. At the moment, it's hard to give a firm date for when the fix will be ready. Oh, bummer. It could be resolved tomorrow, or it may take another week or two. Our conservative estimate is that the issue gets resolved in about 2 weeks' time, which will enable us to start shipping the Brax3 devices on the 15th of June. There is a very good chance that we're able to start shipping earlier, but still. So, not the news that we wanted to hear. That's another 1 month delay because we were expecting the shipments to go out this week. Um, and at the very least, having the survey. But now I understand why there's been a delay because this technical thing that was run into. For people that don't really understand the processes of things, this is why they're being transparent here. There's a lot of moving parts and pieces, duh. But we're talking about hardware components and software components. And when you're dealing with the software that wasn't technically made to work with this particular chipset, that's why Apple they built hardware around their software. This is what happens when you're dealing with Android. Android you can install on different things, but when you install on different things, you'll also get varying experiences. That's why there's different OEM manufacturers. How much RAM do they put in there? How do they optimize it? Do they put their own skin on it? How it works? What chipset does it work with? For example, Samsung themselves, well, as far as I know and understand, you cannot unlock so you can root and flash your own OS onto Qualcomm powered uh, Samsung Galaxy devices. But if they were Tizen, um, what is it, Tizen? Yeah, Exynos. If they were Exynos powered, you can do that with those. So it sucks, but it's all depending on the chipsets too. So just letting you know, there's a lot of moving parts, and a lot of this is painful to experience if it's your first go around. I'm not saying this is their first go around. It could be because they're putting all of these partners together, but it's also the fact that there's that much room for things to go wrong. So they're trying to get this ironed out to send out. So I'm glad that that's the part, but that's also the painful part in that now we're experiencing another month in delay in this. So Clement does say there's some good news. So let's find out what the good news is. We know this is the update you were hoping for. The new delays are disappointing, so we got a few things to make up for it. We're including a free privacy screen protector with every Brax3 order. If you already added one to your order, you'll now get two. One for now, one for backup. We're also excited to announce a new operating system in the works, Lunar OS. While Iode OS will still be the default on all devices, Lunar OS will offer a lighter, more minimal experience closer to stock Android, but still open sourced and privacy focused. It will be available soon after launch as a manual install option, just like Ubuntu Touch. More on Lunar OS coming soon. All right. Is there such thing as a Lunar OS, or I don't want to mistake it with another one? Lunar OS Android. Uh, what is this? All right, let me open this. I wonder if this is associated with this. I didn't plan for anything like this. Okay, so this is all happening live as we go. I pulled up this, the Good Phone Foundation. The big tech monopolies are actively monetizing your personal data at an accelerating pace. It's time to put an end to this. We believe that people deserve respect and privacy on their mobile devices and communication. About Lunar OMP. Lunar OMP is an open source mobile OS based on the Android open source project, and it's a result of our continuous research and development efforts for more than a decade. It includes every component a mobile device requires to operate on its own without relying on third party infrastructure or technology, dedicated hardware, Android based Google OS, and App Suite. Explore the building blocks of OM. Oh, this logo looks very familiar, but I don't think that's the same one. So Lunar OS, there it is. It's a custom built, 100% secure OS that ensures privacy. Lunar OS has no connectivity checks with Google servers and no connection with the Google's NTP and DNS servers. The Lunar network is a collection of public and self-hosted versions of Google services for mobile phones. All server data is encrypted and purged at regular intervals. Then there's a protocol. It is an upgraded and double ratchet protocol for secure communications. It is an encrypted real time protocol that is open and available to all. Lunar App Store, a free alternative to Google Play Store without profiting. Lunar Updater, the community version of our MDM to configure and update mobile phones. And then the hardware is the hardware and software dev kit that allows developers to create secure mobile devices. Okay, here to help shape the future of communications. I'm assuming this is it. So something's existing already. Um, okay, so that might be it. And if that is the case, we're like Clement says here in the post, we will learn more about it soon. I could be wrong. I just did a quick search, and that's what pulled up first. And I'll wait on in a bit. So we know this journey has taken longer than anyone hoped, and we truly appreciate your patience and support. If we were launching a phone with the usual off-the-shelf privacy intrusive software, things would have been much easier, and Brax3 would have been in your hands several months ago. But that's not what we're here to do. Yes, we've chosen the harder path. Absolutely, building our privacy-first mobile product from the ground up, and that means taking technical challenges most phone makers don't even have to think about. And it also means we're taking the time to do it right. Amen. Your trusted support are what make that possible, and we're really thankful for it. We'll keep you posted as we work through this final stretch. Yes, and there's been people commenting here and things like that. So I'm assuming that means that you'll still be able to order the Brax 3 device for 299, because as previously said in a different update. Let's see. This was the timeline one. So let me open this one. Final assembly and shipping. A survey coming next week. I didn't see the survey. So last chance of the 299 pre-order. Yeah. So here we're keeping the discounted 299 price pre-order in place until the day we begin shipping, May 6th, or until inventory runs out, whichever comes first. After that, Braxton will move to full retail pricing. If you or someone you know is still considering ordering, now is the time to lock in the discount before it's gone. So as of right now, as I'm live streaming, only 48 left. So I'm assuming could we cross that May 6th deadline? What is this? May 14th? Because they haven't shipped it yet. So there's still time to be able to pick that up. That's what I'm assuming. And for those of us that actually backed this project very early on in the days, we've been waiting for about 6 months. So you're jumping in at the very last minute, but you'll be able to get that price. They're saying so. It shows right there. So I'm assuming you can. That's the major update regarding this device. I just find it really curious, though. This part about introducing Lunar OS. We are excited to announce a new operating system in the works, Lunar OS. While IoT will still be default on all devices, Lunar OS will offer a lighter, more minimal experience. I wonder. I mean, they're saying that IoT is being preloaded by default. I wonder what that means for the long term, though. Um, is is this the route to go through to eventually replace IODE because long term support might not be viable? That's what I'm curious about because they were partnering with IODE as a way to make this all work. But yeah, that's me just thinking out loud. So what's causing it? It's the IMEI. A lot of you have asked. Will they be sharing one IMEI across everybody? This should answer the question. No. Alrighty. And because I'm running up on time here, let me move on now to share and react to this whole thing about the Galaxy S25 Edge because, well, every tech tuber is talking about it. I want to ask you off the onset what you think about this device. It is the slimmest S series phone yet. Come on. Seriously, Galaxy S25 Edge. Edge used to mean something when it comes to these phones. It used to be before it became the Note because they had like um the curved edge literally, and you could open the edge panel. Now they just, why do they call it Edge? I don't know. But this phone is just looks very slim, and Samsung's is patting themselves on the back for this engineering feat, despite the fact that there have been other thinner devices, but not nearly as powerful as this. So it's a 5.8 millimeter device, 200 megapixel primary shooter in the rear. It has less cameras than the Ultra. It is powered by a Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, and of course, Google Gemini preloaded. So I know about that already. The wait is over. Nice try. The thinner smartphones coming soon to the Galaxy family. But the question is, was anybody asking for a thinner phone? Like honestly, was anybody asking for a thinner device? Because I do have my misgivings about this, and I'll tell you here in a bit. But let me I guess continue going through this thing here. Uh, it is a, don't get me wrong, it looks like a beautiful device. And I also like the color options. I think the titanium silver looks more like white, and in the pictures that I've seen about the supposedly icy blue, that one actually looks more silver. But if you're gonna go off it, it looks like there's just a hue of blue that you can see, and of course, there's the jet black. Um, if I were to go for something like this, it might be the titanium silver, but I need to see them in person to really get them. All right, I want to compare to what really matters here. Oh, you guys only compare it to the S24 Plus or the S23 Plus? Where's the Ultra? Okay, fine. S24 Plus. It's a 7.7 millimeter thickness. So we're talking nearly a 2 millimeter difference between the Edge, S25 Edge, and the S24 Plus. But why aren't you using the S25 Plus? Come on. The weight is 163 grams versus 196 grams. We're talking about a 33-gram difference. So this is considerably lighter, considerably thinner, and considerably mightier. But again, that's comparing it to the S24 Plus. So with titanium, so this is titanium, and so you were concerned about bending it. Hopefully, titanium means that it won't bend as easy. However, as some of you don't know this, Zach from Jerry Rig Everything, don't like the guy. I respect the work ethic. I don't like him as a person. But here, something that he tested with Samsung, and I think it was the S24 Ultra that he might have tested it when he did the teardown. He did it after the iPhone 15 Pro teardowns. He was showing the grades of different titanium and just how much titanium was actually being used. And in the case of Apple, they used a lot more titanium in their phone than Samsung was. Samsung was still heavily relying on aluminum. So, my question is on a teardown of this, are we actually getting more titanium than just say the outer frame just to get away with saying it's titanium? Because if so, then it probably would bend a lot easier than if it were a lot more titanium in there. So, that's my only thing. And anybody curious, I'm sure that whoever's running the Jerry Rig Everything channel might do it because I think Zach officially moved on from that recently. Corning Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 on the front display and Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the back panel make your Galaxy S25 Edge dependably durable. And of course, the same water and dust resistance rating IP68 as has been for some time. Okay, so 200 megapixel camera, zero bulk, is uh, next gen, blah blah blah. It's a wide angle. So the primary shooter is a wide angle with 2x optical quality zoom, and then the ultra wide is 12 megapixels. Yeah, but you're not showing us the other one. They're really trying to show us a big upgrade over last year, but with the S25 Plus already been out for maybe what, 4 months? And 5 months since it was announced, you should have used that as the comparison for this instead of last year's product because you're kind of comparing it to that at this point. 50 megapixel wide angle shooter on last year's phone, 200 megapixel on this one, which is supposed to be the same one on the S25 Ultra. Super sharp shots. Yeah, 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 yeah. Portraits, AI, highlight reels made easy, power. This is the more interesting part. And we'll have to see really what transpires with the UI updates for One UI because of the botched UI 7 rollout, and we'll see. Android 16 running UI 8, will it come out sooner? Because yeah, they made promises. 5 years or whatever it is that they're showing it for core updates. Yeah, but if they're taking this long, is that why you're saying that you're extending the time? Because what if we don't get the latest platform update because you know they've been screwing things up? Okay, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? AI, yeah, 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 yeah. I get it, man. It's just everything is just freaking gotcha. Yeah, I use Gemini. I use Siri. I use Grok. I don't use ChatGPT. I just never liked ChatGPT. Um, Although if you use Bing, you're technically using ChatGPT, aren't you? Yeah, Windows incorporated into Bing. Yeah, I know. Bing. I Anyway. So let's see. Stay on top of your day, news brief, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, that's what's holding everything back. The One UI. So we'll have to see how long it'll take for One UI 8. So, because some rumors are that it's supposed to launch in August with the new foldables. At least that's what I heard. I could be wrong. And that's about it. Okay. Compare. Compare to who? Compare to who? Hmm? I'm hitting compare. What matters is not this one. What matters is the S25 Plus. Here we go. This is a truer comparison, and I'm still showing you the shared screen, right? Okay, so this is the truer comparison because this is an expensive phone. Okay, so here we go. So basically the same camera setup as the S24 Plus. So the S25 Plus has a 12 megapixel ultra wide, which is the same as the S25 Edge. But when it comes to the wide angle camera, the S25 Edge edges out, no pun intended, the S25 Plus from 200 megapixel versus 50 megapixel. But there's a 10 megapixel photo lens on the S25 Plus. Then the front cameras appear to be the same. Battery wise, thinner phone means thinner battery. So you got a 3900 milliamp hour battery versus 4900 on the S25 Plus. And this is where it's really going to make a difference because they're both technically running the same chipset, Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy. So, Mr. Who's the Boss, here's looking at you for doing a test on this. So it's 20, we're talking about 6 hour video playback difference between the two. So you're getting a thinner device for more money, less battery life. Yes, it weighs less, but they're the same size, same brightness, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So it's a thinner phone, smaller battery, one less camera, but a much improved wide angle camera, more money. Uh, so some people are asking, what's the point of all this? Why introduce a thinner device? And if you haven't seen my video on my my rebuttal, or at least offering uh, a pushback against Sam Mobile, I respect those guys, but Sam Mobile was carrying the water for Samsung because Samsung removed the S Pen functionality from the S25 Ultra. And they're like, "Well, do you really need those air gestures and Bluetooth functionality? Blah blah blah." No, you probably won't miss it. That wasn't the point, though. It's hypocrisy on Samsung again. These guys made fun of Apple every time Apple removed the feature because Apple made the brave decision to kill off the headphone jack. Oh, removable battery and things like that. And then Samsung comes along and mocks Apple and then ends up doing just that. They got rid of the headphone jack. They got rid of expandable memory. They got rid of removing the battery too, or very much more early on. But removing the S Pen functionality, like Bluetooth thing, like, oh, because we want to improve things on it. Well, you didn't really improve much, did you, Samsung? S25 Ultra versus the S24 Ultra. I still prefer the S24 Ultra. It's a mightier phone than the S25 Ultra. But because the AI is like, dude, sorry, you're not winning me over with the AI. Even though I use Galaxy AI on a daily basis, it's my most used AI tool for my content creation. But what we've been letting Samsung get away with, while increasing prices, by the way, is giving us less. It's either iterative hardware updates, they just refine here and refine there. But at least a trade-in deal is always good, right? But they remove features, and a lot of us that see the foldables as the proper note of the future, we just prefer a much better aspect ratio than what we're given with here. I'm using the Galaxy Fold 6. I actually like it. It feels really good in the hand, but I wish it was wider for a more proper aspect phone ratio when you have it closed instead of that dinky, really skinny frame. Although it's more usable than the previous iterations of the Fold series. However, all of us have said you don't have to go so thin so long as you give us a silo to put in the S Pen. But the S Pen, you got to spend like what, 70, $80 on the case just to get this thing and have it with you. And it barely provides any protection for the front. This thing's so flimsy, it's ridiculous. But you're charging a lot of money for this thing. So that is basically what the S25 Ultra is. It's the same S Pen experience. It's just in the pen, but it has a silo you can put it away in. So to me, the S25 Edge is kind of like a litmus test. Do you want to have what feels like a super premium device without the S Pen, and how will people react to that? Because it looks more premium than the S25 Plus, and it's maybe has some stuff that the Ultra has, but that this one has, but no S Pen in sight. Is this a way for them to basically do away with the Ultra? Because I made that claim on a video that I was just talking about. Is the Note or now the Ultra going to be no more? Because they're going to get rid of the S Pen altogether. There's already rumors that we might not get Dex on it anymore later this year in the new phones. So if there's no Dex and then you're getting rid of the S Pen, what the hell makes it Ultra? The AI that you're going to charge us for, Samsung, and we're still waiting to hear how much are you going to charge us for Galaxy AI, because it's supposed to expire this year for those of us that bought the S24 last year. Not to mention the Fold 6. When is that going to expire? How much are you going to charge us, Samsung? I think everybody right now in the industry is waiting to see who's going to blink first, who will slap us with the charge, and then the whole industry will see how the consumer reacts to that. Will we have a mass rejection of AI tools because we don't want to pay for the service? I would feel the same way. How many of you, like, I didn't coin this, but subscription fatigue is real. So it's we'll see where all that goes. So now, and I have to wrap it up on time. And I see people messaging me on YouTube. Thank you so very much. Um, yeah, have a good day. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But I do have to get going here. So let me just wrap this up. Um, I hope that this doesn't spell doom for the Ultra lineup, and I hope that we get back some of the features that have been removed from it. But the more I see the trajectory with Samsung, the more I see that they're probably going to strip down more of the phone. And I don't like where that's going. That's why I'm still holding on to my S24 Ultra, and I am intending on switching back to it. Okay. And with that being said, that's all I have to say about that. And check out my video where I do react to that, a rebuttal to Sam Mobile. And speaking of rebuttals, I just want to say that you guys, whoever's seen it, and I'm going to assume it's the Mr. Who's the Boss fan base. You guys made my rebuttal to Mr. Who's the Boss my most hated video in all the history of my YouTube. But everyone in other platforms seem to support it, and they see what I'm saying and they support what I have to say. But those on YouTube are not having the same reaction. But to each their own. Anyway, I gotta go. I overstayed my time by about 4 minutes, so I appreciate you all tuning in. Check out my stuff at theundersegovia.com. Follow me across the socials at @theundersegovia on X_undersegovia. Stay tuned for that clip I said is going to drop later today, and I have interviews that I've been recording that are going to be dropping within the next few days to next week as well, and maybe a couple surprises. But for those of you that follow me on the socials, you'll be the first to know. Anyway, that's where we'll leave it. Thank you so very much. Have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.